Kia ora, ko Kaito Paetz toku ingoa. I'm a graduate mechanical and ESD engineer at EQ. Sustainability is my passion and the forefront of many of my life decisions. Day to day, I've challenged myself to live my life without owning a car. By basing myself in an accessible area, my dependence on private vehicle use has decreased drastically, as well as my daily carbon footprint. I'm proud to have a job at EQ, where providing sustainable outcomes for buildings is essential to the services that it provides. Using environmentally sustainable design knowledge and computer-based modelling, I am able to positively influence the environmental impact of a house, building or development. The active building is accountable for 20% of carbon emissions in Aotearoa. The building industry must urgently change to reach the country's net zero carbon goals. But while a change of mentality is needed from within the industry, we also need to mandate change given the extremity of the issues at stake. In any case, the first thought should be to build nothing or build less, through maximising the use of existing assets. As an example, a big opportunity exists with the changing landscape of working in the office following the pandemic. Better workspaces are needed, not more. Retrofitting existing buildings will improve energy efficiency, create better indoor environments, and significantly reduce the life cycle impacts when compared to building new. Notwithstanding this, mandatory energy performance certificates such as the successful NEIGHBOR scheme in Australia should be implemented to drive this uptake. If there really is a need to build new, then build clever and efficiently. Reuse materials or use low carbon intensive materials and optimise design to reduce operational energy use. With regard to housing, we are faced with a dilemma. The housing crisis calls for a large amount of development to meet severe housing shortages, while the climate crisis urges us to build less. When we do need to build new housing, we must ensure that it is designed and built in a way that minimises carbon footprint and is located in a way that does the same. In this regard, the National Policy Statement on Urban Development 2020 promotes high-density developments near train stations, CBDs and commercial centres, which will ensure that more residents of new housing developments will be able to access sustainable transport modes for everyday use. Land in these areas will be rezoned to allow for 6-storey building heights. This ties in nicely with the recent rise in engineered timber frame buildings for mid-rise developments around the world. This is a massive opportunity to reduce embodied carbon when compared to building with typical construction materials. We should look to the French government's mandates to reach their own net zero goals. They require that any building that rises up to 8 stories in the Paris 2024 Olympic Village must be constructed using wood. This type of action is needed in Aotearoa to drive industry change and set economies of scale. As Future Thinker of the Year, I'd look to get as many young people on board with the movement for better buildings through the networks of the NZGBC. It would be great to voice the opinions of young professionals in the industry by perhaps writing a plan or a manifesto for the next 10 years and hopefully reinvigorate those who have been in the industry for much longer too.